Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a manufacturing plant operations director, you're going to want to tune in because this briefing is designed specifically for you. You know better than anyone that modern manufacturing really lives and dies by two things, right? Uptime and connectivity. But here is the critical issue we're unpacking today. That exact same connectivity brings massive, hidden risks right onto your plant floor. We're going to look at why robust cybersecurity is no longer just an IT issue, but a fundamental, absolute requirement to prevent incredibly expensive production downtime and ultimately protect your bottom line.
So here's our agenda for today. We'll start with the new manufacturing threat, look at the true cost of downtime, and discuss securing intellectual property. Then we'll break down a super practical 5-step defense framework and wrap it all up with ensuring long-term continuity.
All right, Section 1, the new manufacturing threat.
As an operations director, you're constantly integrating new tech to streamline processes. It's just part of the job. But there's a real paradox here. The very tools driving your plant's efficiency, things like IoT devices, advanced automation, data analytics, they've simultaneously created highly vulnerable entry points for cybercriminals. Because manufacturing processes are so incredibly integrated right now, the industry has become a prime target. Think about it. Your plant floor is essentially a giant interconnected digital network. And that means a vulnerability in just one single smart sensor could potentially compromise the entire line.
So what exactly are we defending against here? Well, the top threats include ransomware, data breaches, insider threats, and honestly, perhaps the most terrifying one for an operations director, attacks on industrial control systems, or ICS. I want to be really clear about this. These aren't just IT headaches where someone can't get into their email. No way. These are direct, calculated threats to your physical production capabilities. An attack on your ICS means the actual physical machines that stamp, assemble, and package your products can be remotely manipulated. It can turn $1 million stamping press into a massive liability, or just shut down production completely.
Moving on to Section 2, the true cost of downtime. This right here brings us to the core pain point. The crucial takeaway is this: downtime is the ultimate enemy. A compromised system literally means a paralyzed assembly line. When a cyber attack hits those industrial control systems, operations don't just slow down. They instantly grind to a highly, highly expensive halt. Every single minute those machines aren't running, you're bleeding capital, you're missing delivery targets, and you're damaging your reputation with clients who desperately rely on your supply chain.
Zero. That is exactly how much operational continuity you can expect during a major, successful cyber incident on your plant floor, if you aren't prepared. Zero production, zero revenue generation. It completely halts your business continuity. And, the massive financial loss associated with this big zero is exactly why cybersecurity has to be viewed as an essential operational investment, definitely not some optional IT upgrade.
Section 3, securing intellectual property.
Now, while downtime is that immediate punch-in-the-gut financial hit, there's actually a secondary, equally devastating threat. Let's define exactly what's at stake when it comes to intellectual property. For a manufacturing plant, IP isn't just some abstract legal concept. It's literally your operational blueprint. It's your proprietary designs, your closely guarded trade secrets, and all that sensitive operational data that lets you produce goods better, faster, or cheaper than the next guy. If cybercriminals steal this information, they aren't just taking data, they are stealing your very competitive edge.
The contrast here is honestly night and day. On one hand, an unsecured network leaves your trade secrets totally vulnerable and your operations completely exposed. But on the flip side, a protected framework uses tech like data encryption to secure that sensitive data, both when it's moving and when it's sitting still. This means even if a breach is attempted, your proprietary designs stay encrypted and that competitive edge remains perfectly safe. It's basically the difference between leaving your factory doors wide open at night versus having a highly trained security detail at every entrance.
Section 4, the 5-step defense framework.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. Let's pivot and focus on the solution. We really need to frame cybersecurity not as a bunch of dense tech jargon, but as a standard operating procedure for plant defense. Based on industry best practices, this is a battle-tested 5-core function framework. Step 1 is identify. Step 2, protect. Step 3, detect. Step 4, respond. And Step 5, recover. What I absolutely love about this is how it systematically organizes all the chaos of cyber defense into manageable, plant-friendly procedures. It takes this huge, overwhelming threat and just breaks it down into actionable, everyday operational steps.
Let's break down those first 3 proactive steps. To identify, you have to manage your assets and assess your risks. You can't protect what you don't know you have, right?
You need to understand exactly where your vulnerabilities are on the floor. Then to protect, you implement things like role-based access control. This just ensures only authorized personnel can get into critical systems, which hugely reduces the impact if an incident happens. And to detect, you're using continuous monitoring. By leveraging machine learning and AI, you can spot anomalies super early, like, say, a packaging machine randomly attempting to export gigabytes of data at 3 a.m. These 3 steps act as your digital safety guards, actively working to keep threats far away from your production.
Now let's see how this proactive monitoring builds right into the final stages. Look at how perfectly the detect phase pairs with the reactive protocols and the respond phase. If your AI anomaly detection spots something sketchy, your incident response planning immediately kicks in. Boom! You've got clear communication protocols ready to go, you inform stakeholders, and you manage the event. It's all about having a really well-rehearsed fire drill, so that if an incident actually occurs, the operational damage is strictly contained and limited.
And finally, we get to the recover step. As the source material points out, the recovery phase focuses on restoring operations and implementing lessons learned, minimizing downtime. Obviously, this is absolutely crucial for any operations director. This step relies on having robust data recovery solutions and business continuity plans already set up. The entire goal here is fast data restoration, to get your machines running again as quickly as humanly possible, while also doing a post-incident analysis to make sure it never, ever happens the same way twice.
And that brings us to Section 5, ensuring long-term continuity.
Let's tie these cybersecurity solutions directly back to your long-term business KPIs. Notice the clear, practical alignment here between specific plant floor risks and structural solutions. Are you worried about unauthorized access to the ICS? Well, the solution is role-based access control. Concerned about a vendor somehow causing a breach? You need third-party risk management. Dealing with the everyday reality of human error? Regular security awareness training for your floor staff is your answer. It's simple. Every operational risk has a highly targeted cyber solution designed to mitigate it.
So, what's the ultimate payoff for putting this framework in place? The bottom line benefits are just immense. You achieve uninterrupted operational continuity, which means no costly downtime. You successfully safeguard your highly valuable intellectual property. You confirm compliance assurance, so you're avoiding any nasty regulatory penalties. And you build really resilient supply chain security. At the end of the day, partnering for robust cybersecurity isn't just about buying some new software. It's a strategic, vital investment in protecting your plant's revenue and ensuring its long-term viability.
I want to leave you with this final, somewhat provocative question. Is your production line truly resilient? Seriously, if a targeted attack hit your industrial control systems tomorrow, would you just experience a minor hiccup or a catastrophic halt in operations? It's a critical question, and it demands an urgent answer. Take the time to evaluate your current defenses and definitely consider initiating a proper, comprehensive security assessment. Your plant's profitability literally depends on it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, stay secure out there.